But you go on to give an example of, let's say there's a player finds a butterfly sitting on a leaf, and you could like kill it or capture it or photograph it or watch it until it flies away. Now, I hope you don't mean those are the only options. The idea is to have a theoretical infinite number of options, just like how we implement physics in modern games. I have a box. There's not like 3 different things I can do to this box. There's a theoretical infinite number of things I can do to this box. And, you know, it'll obey the laws of physics no matter which way I throw it or how I bounce it against or throw explosives into it. Who knows? So I want to make an environment which reacts that way, but to emotions. And any emotion you might give it, it reacts somehow. It learns. I don't know. Very interesting. So you do note that the butterfly example is far too blunt a mechanism to allow us to assess a psychological state with any degree of precision. How do you differentiate the psychopath from the playful scamp? Well, that's true. I'm not exactly sure how you would, for instance, you know, figure out who really means something versus who is just faking it. There's got to be ways. There's got to be subtleties, you know? There's got to be things that you're unconscious of. Like, which is the whole point of not making it discreet and obvious. Are you happy? Are you sad? You know? Things like I said, if you're swinging a thing with a lot of force and little precision, that's a sign of anger, you know? And you don't really realize that. You know, I think about this sometimes. I'm playing a game and I start thinking about my own psychology. Like, okay, how does that affect the buttons I'm pressing? How do I, you know, sometimes if I'm tense maybe and I hit a button to swing a sword and then I hold on to that button a little longer than necessary. It's like, I'm just, okay, I swung the sword. Okay, you know, there you go. You know, there's a thing that'd be kind of hard to fake. Hopefully we get into a place where the player doesn't want to fake anything because he actually trusts the game to really respond to what he really is, you know? Part of the old good and evil game thing is when you fake like being an evil person because that gives you the most interesting content. But really the most interesting content, the thing most tailored to you, is stuff which is based on you, right? That'd be interesting for you to get the player into. Get him into like, okay, so really, you just want me to do whatever it is I feel like doing in the context of the game. And that would give him the most interesting content for him. And for someone else who has a different personality, they'll get some other content, but that's the most interesting thing possible for that person. Theoretically, anyway. And you expand it as far as you like. So that the player like, okay, wait, so what if I want to turn off the game? Okay. Is that part of the game? Yes. It's about emotional intelligence. And if you're done playing the game, for now, you can turn off the game. The game can encourage you to turn it off. If it just senses that you're getting bored, if it senses that you feel like doing something else, then it might, in an abstract way, start pulling, you know, the spiritual powers and, like, encouraging you to stop, encouraging, like, the thing to fade away, and then you could fight that, maybe, to a degree, and then maybe the game would back off, and then maybe, you know, that'd be a thing, fighting off boredom. You start to get bored, and then, like, the world starts fading away, and you're like, wait a minute, and you start doing things, and then, oh, wait, the world starts forming back again, you know? Illustrating the point that the more you pay attention to things, the more there is to pay attention to, from your perspective. There's a different thing. There's a interesting stuff. Okay, so you tell me that games are defined by a series of components: the players, the environment, the rules, and the objectives. Yes, I did know that. I always find it funny when people talk about, you know, definition of games and all that, and they always say there's rules and there's environment. Like, isn't that the same thing, essentially? Like, the environment of a chess game is the chessboard. But the whole existence of the chessboard relies on the fact of, you know, you can't go outside of it. That's a rule, you know. I guess you could mean the environment in an aesthetic sense, in which case, so which you know, material is the board made out of, you know, and what are the surroundings, and I guess that's not really part of the rules, is it? Just to make that clear. Okay, so you tell us that, alright, what do we do for Shinobi Rises? Well, we can find some sort of avatar, you say. Traditional face-to-face game, the player is represented by himself. In a computer game, the player is represented by an avatar. Not always so. Where is the avatar in SimCity? I mean, I guess you have like a cursor, and you have like that menu off to the side where you can click on stuff, but there's no one thing that is your avatar. You know, you are just a presence. You are a pattern of change, which is you. As in you, literally the player, how you feel like changing things is reflected on the game, and that's who you are. There's no like discrete avatar, which is, you know, a moot point anyway. I would actually want to have a discrete avatar in Shinobi Rises. You play this ninja. This ninja dressed in white, and you can't see anything of him, just this, anyway. Okay, so the environment has stuff in it. The problem with Shinobi Rises is that the player's interaction with the environment is reduced to clicking and mouse movements. Now, I did not say that. I specifically said I'm looking into things like the Nintendo Wii, where you can move it around as much as you like, having a theoretical infinite amount of input, you know? I could hardly imagine doing this game where, like, you click, 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 you know, on various things. You could. It is possible. But I want to do full analog. I want to do, like the Nintendo Wii, or much more likely, whatever comes next, and after that, in 10 years maybe, I get this thing actually made. Something like that. And heck, after you make it, you still want to update it. You want to make almost a sequel, except there's no real story. So it's not exactly a sequel, it's just like, we've made it better. Okay. So you go into the rules. The obvious route to take would be a branching puzzle-based adventure of some sort, a very constrained environment. Well, I'm sure you and I both agree that we don't want it to be constrained. Sandbox! Sandbox! Right? You say, here's the next paragraph. In Shinobi Rises, you seem to have a very open-ended objective, which needs to be defined much more accurately. No, it doesn't. You're thinking in the normal way. Don't think like a normal person. What is the objective in SimCity? Right? I mean, you can do little things where, like, you know, they'll give you, okay, here's your city, you have to do such and such thing within 10 years game time, you know? But really, you just start playing? You just start playing! What do you want to do? I don't know. How about I put up a fire station? Okay? How about I put up PowerPoint? How about I build a road? How about I... And there's a generally agreed upon objective of making a big city with a big populace. But you can really make whatever kind of city you like. It's a sandbox. It's an interesting thing to experiment against. You learn something about city management. Shinobi Rises is meant to be a sandbox where you learn something about your emotional self. So we don't need a clearly defined objective. You know? Plenty of people bought SimCity, right? Made a bunch of sequels and stuff. Or in Will Wright's upcoming game, Spore. Look into that. No particular objective there either. You know, most people will want to... You create like a species, right? Most people want to evolve their species and make it into a big society of some sort and then go exploring the galaxy. But you don't actually even have to do that, do you? And once you get up to the galaxy roaming mode, there definitely is no objective. You can just roam around however you like. Whatever you want to do, you know? So... yeah. What's the objective? Basically enlightenment, which you say doesn't sound like the kind of thing a game can easily deliver. Maybe not easily, but I'm sure there's a way you could do it. It's a path. It's a way. You just keep going. You just keep playing this game as long as you want. And you play it, and maybe you put it down, and the next week you come back to it, and you play it, and then maybe you put it down, and 3 years later you come back to it, and then you play it straight for 6 weeks, and then you know, whenever you need some advice, essentially, and you think that the game is capable of providing it, you do it. It's almost like if you talk to somebody, like what is the objective of me talking to this person? Well, there's not a discrete objective, is there? It's a thing. I'm just talking, and we're just, you know, whatever it is you're getting. Sometimes you have discrete objectives in talking to people, but generally just, you know, conversation.